knows everything about everything, Coach Soter Dave. What's going on, Mr. Dave?
Very good.
And of course, the most laid back person in gaming, Skadii
What up?
Games.
What up, bro?
What's going on, guys? Oh man, how's everyone's week?
Good, man.
Decent.
Good.
Glad to hear it. Glad to hear it. I was off today, so it's an extended weekend. So I'm super high energy.
Oh, nice. Hell yeah,
Yeah.
dude.
So I'm hyped about it, man. I'm hyped about it, and I promised the Discord that they're gonna get a fiery Stridah tonight because I'm not too happy about a few things. But
No, we got a
Spicy.
lot to talk about.
Yep.
yeah, we definitely have some things to talk about over here. And yeah, it's tough because we haven't gotten new content to talk about, really. We've gotten some teasing and stuff, but Chivalry, they always deliver. They always deliver. So the Torn Banner team, they're interesting to say the least. But I've got to tell a story here about why I'm so pissed off. All right. So
Okay. You want me to give the context?
okay. All right. Yeah, Dave, give the
Yeah,
context.
yeah, it's important, I think. Okay, so unlike most games that you play that are indie, Chivalry 2 does not have a way to host a private lobby. You can't just start up a map with just you and your friends. You can't host a private server. There's no way to do this sort of things. But to accommodate this fact, Torn Banner has a team of moderators which you can contact on the official Discord, which allows you to reserve a private server for any event that you would like, whether it be a competitive event or just something with your friends or whatever. You contact them, a couple weeks from the day with the information and everything you need, and then they'll set it up for you. But more recently, within the past day, something happened. Stridah.
Oh God. So and this breaks my freaking heart, guys, because so I look forward to the events that I run a lot. You get 30 versus 30, all really good players, all super cool people in a lobby. It's always a great time. And I also look forward to, I've been doing more of the competitive events. I've been ringing with Dave's team, planned on keeping on doing that. And at this point in the content structure where we haven't gotten anything, like this is the part of Chivalry I look forward to. Like, I can't get too motivated to come on and just pub. I really enjoy the competitive stuff. And I got a message today about my event. And, I'm gonna summarize it. It was like a paragraph long. But it's from Connect. And it's, Hi, Stridah. And due to the rise in hacking in the server browser, we're going to be unable to send moderators to any events for the near future until the update coming soon. So basically, we apologize for the inconvenience, and we hope to see the community events return when the server browser is more stable. So, first of all, no mod support. Second of all, in my brain processing, what does people hacking in the server browser have to do with mods being at my event? I don't understand.
Yeah, so this is honestly it's hard to say. Now, this is my best guess, okay? My best guess is that as a server administrator, you have the ability to view information on the players in your server, right? This is classic in video games, people joining servers that are suspicious, and then the people who own those servers get information on them, right? It's why they tell you not to join just any random Minecraft server. And so the hackers here are somehow gaining administrator privileges to be able to mess with the server in different ways, like changing the map to the tutorial map. It's very funny, actually, to see 30 people in the tutorial map. Changing the server speed, like doubling it, even turning off gravity in the server. There's a million things. They could basically do any command that a developer could do in these servers. And so when you reserve a server, typically you reserve a server without a password, because if you have a password on it, console players can't join. So if you don't have a password on it, there's a chance a hacker could join and possibly get information on you. Now, this is all like my conjecture. Like, I don't know if this is certain, but that's just my best guess, because they don't want to have you reserve a server and then blame them when someone gets your information or does something nefarious to you based on the fact that you were in a Torn Banner reserved server. So that's just my best guess. Covering their bases.
Yeah, so basically, normal people's terms, the hackers now have moderator or more than moderator powers.
More than moderator, yes.
Because
more than moderator.
I know that the moderators can't do the things that Moon does in the game. So it's sounding like if they're putting you to the tutorial map, they've surpassed the mods in power.
Actually, I think that the moderators can do that. But the thing is, like, all of these commands are actually like fully vanilla commands. They are just the commands made for someone who's the owner of a server. And at the moment, because there are no private servers, the only people who can do those commands are the developers. So yes, they have developer powers. And it's pretty funny. But at the same time, it can be annoying for the people who are in those lobbies.
What a huge L, man. What a huge L. This is the thing. I've been a little salty lately about a bunch of stuff announced, but this just kind of broke me. I was just like, I'm usually pretty forgiving with Torn Banner, but I was like, what a
So that means
L to
no
take.
East versus West, right?
Okay, no.
No.
So
No.
no, that's not what it means. That's not what it
Oh,
means.
okay.
Oh,
Because
shit. Here we go.
I'm pulling an Emperor Bubbles, and I fully plan on commandeering a server browser server, and we're gonna run it the best we can, 30 versus 30. I'll just give the server out like 5 minutes before match starts. We unfortunately won't be able to select maps, so we'll just have to kind of run it like 3 in a row. Whatever we get, we get. And it'll, of course, be more difficult because if people
Yes.
miss the time to hop in, you won't necessarily get your spot back. And it just, you can't have the slowdown to make sure everyone's on the same team.
Well, interestingly enough, moderators still have their moderator privileges. So as long as you're certain that there will be no hacker at the event, right? Because some people say that the hackers are amongst us. Then you should be fine, and the moderator should still be able to run everything smoothly, because an important factor is that the hacker needs to be in the server to change anything about the server. He cannot be outside of it and change it from there. He could DDoS it probably from outside, but he cannot change things with commands unless he's in that server.
Okay, yeah, well, I don't know if we're going to... I mean, I don't know if Funk is going to want to play or what he'd be willing or allowed to do. But look, as I said, we're pulling the bubbles. We're showing up. We're taking over the server. It is what it is. If they want to ban me for it, they can fucking ban me. I don't care. Not like I don't have another account. It's fine. But, look. This is a fun thing. Everyone's been looking forward to it. Put the time out. Reserve their time. Everyone's busy. So we're just going to run it the best we can. I guess we'll just take it as more of like a community night than like a full-on event because we can't control anything.
Yeah, I unfortunately won't be able to make it because I'm going to be out of town till the day after, dude. So I'm sorry.
He saw the central team. He's like, nah, I'm good.
Nah, I just family stuff, unfortunately, lined up at the wrong time. But yeah, I would love to do East versus West Coast. I even talked about it last night on my stream, and all the time is like there's a big difference sometimes in how people play on different servers. It's cool to see. So I would have loved to participate, man.
Here's the difference: East players play good. Central players play bad. That's the difference.
I usually refer to central lobbies as seal clubbing, but
that's what it is. Yeah, it's exactly what it is.
I was telling the guys they threw me, Steppo, and I think Velvet Hammer in a central lobby once, and it took us like a map to figure it out. And I was like, dude, they're watching me run behind their team, and they're not turning. I'm just clubbing one after the other with a warhammer in like a straight line. It was ridiculous. But the Emperor. This is the Emperor's idea. So anything that happens to Central, he can take the blame. Is what it is.
Fine by me.
But it should be a good time, I think, regardless. And we're just going to do the best we can. I think it's a bigger L for the league play.
Oh yes, yeah. That's the sad thing. The league play is an extremely structured thing. Same time every week, same players, and they've been doing this for like 6 weeks. And the league still had like a few more weeks, and then they were going to start another league, and they make all these plans, and then they just get shafted, unfortunately. And they could still run it under the table technically, so I don't think it's necessarily against the rules. But if you could convince a guy with moderator privileges to run your event, on the side without a reserved server, but just an empty server, I'm sure they would do it.
I'm down with going rogue. we got any edgy people?
I'm saying that I'm sure Torn Banner wouldn't punish you for doing that. Like hijacking a server that's empty. I don't think that they would have too big of a deal with that, especially because they know that like people are going to do it anyway. But it kind of is the only option. And the worst thing is what I was telling Moon in his DMs earlier is that this will promote hacking in the competitive community, because if they can't run their matches without hacks, you can be sure as hell that some of them are going to download hacks and that is scary, and I don't want that to happen. So,
Yeah. I will say, at least though, with the competitive community in this game, everyone knows each other so well. I feel like that stuff would get like found out, or the accusations would start pretty quickly.
Yeah, as soon as he switches the server, he'd be everyone would call him hacker. But
so what's going to happen with the league, Dave? Is it still up in the air, or are people going to just play? It's just done. You guys.
It's canceled completely. It's impossible. So the way the league works, if you're a member, is that both teams play on the same map, but they switch sides.
And you can't choose the maps.
Yeah, exactly. You can't choose the maps. A moderator could technically do it, but like we said, it'd be hijacking. So it's overall just so messy that they decided let's just can it entirely and restart it another week. I agree.
What a huge L. What a huge L to take. I was looking forward to playing again. I had a really good time. As I said, at this point in Chivalry, these are the things that motivate me to play. Like, sometimes I don't feel like getting on stream and just like, hopping into random TO and getting shot in the back by my own teammates for 2 hours.
Yeah, I know. I really think you enjoyed
playing
actually
Dark Force
getting revived.
defense. Dark Force defense
I had a
3
great
times in a row.
time. Oh God, dude. It's so funny. Every time I play, I get as you guys know, I get the Thayek into Tanoja rotation every freaking time. And I tried to play off stream once. I was trying to stream snipe Velvet Hammer, who was actually on the Tanoja rotation. I got every map I like in a row, all different lobbies. It never happens when I'm actually trying to stream.
That's hilarious.
Oh man,
that'd be too boring for your stream.
Yeah, right. It's a constant fight of like me trying to enjoy myself on stream and have a good time playing the game, and everyone in my community and the chat trying to ruin my time and make fun of me. The freaking devs put like bullshit in the game. Moon's in there laughing his ass off about all the archery. It's it's tough. But speaking of tough things going on in Shiv, it's almost summertime. Right, log into the game. It says the winter update. I think we've kind of gone a little bit past where we can pull off that it's the winter update.
It says that my battle pass is level 0, even though I leveled it up too.
Even though you leveled it up, well, maybe they just let you keep going and going, so it feels like fresh content.
Yeah.
But it's been rough. But we are starting to get, and this is annoying the hell out of me, a tease trickle. Does that mean like they're teasing out content in like very small doses of what's going to be coming soon, and it's gotten to the ridiculous point of I feel like teasing out horses on Lionspire. Like
exactly.
We're really scraping the bottom of the barrel. In my head, I'm like, the next tweet, because it seems every Tuesday is a tweet. The next tweet is going to be, we're reducing damage on the Messer by 1 point. Like just ridiculous.
They should have done it the opposite, right? They should have maybe like had the smaller ones up into the crossplay or something, or like I don't know, but
I don't think
just release the update. Release the update.
Yeah.
So we're at the point where they're trying to like build hype, but the thing is, we've been waiting half a year. We're past building hype.
It's honestly just demoralizing me to see the tweets of stuff like Lionspire horses.
Yeah.
I like horses, so I'm happy.
So I'm not even that much of a horse hater. Like, I've enjoyed the mounted queue here and there, but the problem with it is I hate the Thayek Tanoja rotation, and that's pretty much the entire mounted warfare queue. And
it's like half of it, yeah.
Yeah, and like on top of that, if it's not on every map and it's not in the main mode, it's a little bit kind of, it is what it is.
I completely agree. I don't know why they shove it down people's throats. That's the problem. I like, it can just be its own thing without being shoved down people's throats.
Yeah, I feel like sometimes you got to take the L and just like move on. It wasn't really necessarily loved by the community, which is fine. But
it's going to be loved by the community when they delete 64 player off the main screen.
Oh my God. I would almost wanted to see that happen just to like sit back and watch the shitstorm that would like,
of course,
bombs blowing up everywhere, fire, like, oh my God, it would be nuts. But on the topic of all-inning the horses, we have a new weapon coming, right? The heavy cavalry saber. And the second this was tweeted out, I think I was on stream. Dave came in there to rile me up because I think he knew what my reaction was going to be. But it seems it's another weapon that is so niched down that I don't foresee it getting a lot of play. Like, you're taking a weapon, like, I saw a screenshot, it looks sick. It looks sick. So I'm like, yeah, I see that thing, I want to run it. Then I read the description, and they're like, best used on horseback or whatever. So I'm like, you gotta be kidding me.
Yeah.
Like, what are we doing here?
So what I'm guessing is that it'll be a low-ish damage, right? I'm thinking that it'll have similar damage to the sword.
The damage number's leaked.
Oh yeah.
Actually, yes. So I could get into that, but keep going.
Okay, yeah. So I'm thinking that's why they say it'll be good on horseback. I actually don't think it'll be any different from any other weapon on horseback besides having a unique special attack. Like, I don't think there's going to be this crazy unique functionality like people think. I just think that because it has low damage and horseback damage is amplified based on speed, and also the fact that it's got long range, that it's just going to naturally be a good weapon to have on horseback. So I think they failed a little bit with the dumb naming convention. And, like it's the horseback sword. I think it really is just going to be a mid sword on land because of the low damage, and then a good sword because on horseback, because, on horseback you need that range because you just need it.
Okay, well, I know from the European group in my Discord leaked some of the info in an early video of it, and I believe the stab damage is 35 and the slash is 42, I want to say. So pretty weak comparative to the other weapons. I mean, 35 is straight pea shooting, like.
What do you compare that? Yeah, what does it line up with other one-handers though? Like
less than the falchion.
It's less than the falchion.
I'm pretty sure that's like around the sword. I know the sword I think does like 50 damage.
Yeah.
On like heavy attacks or something, or maybe even like light attacks. So that's like around there. It might even be weaker than the sword. I think
it's a tad weaker. I mean, I didn't get an overhead attack from them, but I would assume if slash is 42, overhead is at best 50, but probably 45.
If you could maybe have it like as a secondary, I think that would be kind of cool. Maybe as so when you're a knight on a horse, you use your cavalry sword and you're just whipping.
It'll be going on guardian, so like technically you can take
it's on knight,
like two different. You can take like two different one-handed weapons.
Oh yeah, I didn't know it was going on guardian.
Yeah, you can take the heavy cavalry sword, then you can take the mace, and that's like a decent pairing in my head, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, me too. I always like a secondary blunt weapon because if you get disarmed, then you just blow up the knight in one shot. It's always just gamble them, gamble stick, done. In my head, I thought like they missed a chance here because you could have just called it the saber. It looks awesome in the screenshot. Just call it the saber and just make it like they said it's going to be slow with long reach. So I was thinking like you could get like some sort of like one-handed messer variant here where maybe it's a little bit closer to two-handed weapon speed even though it's one-handed, but you get the perk of running a shield with it. So I thought there was some play they could have done around that without just making it dog shit on foot, and you got to run it on a horse.
Yeah, I think that's what they meant by it's good on horseback. The fact that it has such poo-poo damage that you need to amplify it with the movement speed of horses. So I hope
you might be right. I don't know. I just in my head I'm like, well then why would I use that on a horse over a greatsword? Like, right?
Yeah, that does line up pretty well. I think that the saving grace of the weapon could be a unique special. I've actually been very happy with all the special attacks that they've added with all the new weapons. I think the rapier special is awesome. I think the guitar special is annoying but still cool looking. I think the Highland sword spin after a few patches is pretty cool. And the quarterstaff special, although it's broken and desynced, also is cool. So if this weapon gets a cool special that isn't just like, the like reverse hand stab of the other swords, then that'd be pretty cool. I think so.
Yeah, no. I mean, I hope it's something cool. I hope it's, as you said, still viable on the ground and that they didn't just all in on making a weapon that can only be used in, like, how much of the time in the map are you on horseback? Like, it just doesn't make any sense to pick a weapon for horseback because you might not even get the horse wave.
And if you get the horse wave, you're always going to have it in your secondary or wield it all the time because the horses come spawn wave sometimes. So like, and then switching your class.
Well, you do
just to play
have
the
enough
cavalry
time
sword.
you do have enough time to switch your class after you've accepted the wave. So after you accept,
you're right.
after you accept spawn in as horseback,
that's
you can
too much
switch your
work
class.
for me. I could tell you.
Yeah,
do that.
yeah. It's still like an extra step, just to even use it in its most effective way. Or you could always carry it and hope for the best and find.
I still agree with both of you. I still agree with both of you. Stupid name, such a stupid name. I would never, even if it was only usable on horseback, I wouldn't call it that. I'm just saying.
Just call it a saber.
Also, I don't like it being called heavy if it's not heavy. Like I don't understand. These damage numbers they're not indicative
there's nothing
of
heavy about a 35 damage.
Exactly.
Yeah, I totally thought exactly like you, Stridah, that it was going to be like a cool one-handed messer kind of deal, and like just feel like you're chopping and like decapping someone with a nice like heavy one-hander.
I thought it was going to be
nice.
a bladed variant of the Warhammer. But now with those leaked damage values, which could be changed.
I have a feeling that maybe they will be changed. So we'll see.
like for example, hackers were actually able to spawn in the heavy cavalry sword and play with it, but it didn't even have the model, right? Like
I saw those videos.
Yeah. So if it was that unfinished, maybe those damage values are from the unfinished version. I don't know.
Let's hope.
Dude,
it sounds so fun to me, that one-handed messer idea, and that's kind of game-changing and something that I'd be really excited to try out and play with, and you probably get me behind running that pretty regularly. Like, I have zero excitement about a horseback-based weapon, so...
So do you guys think that heavy crossbows are still coming, or do you think it's going to be like an extra?
It's been done for a year.
Yeah, the siege crossbow has been finished for so long in the game. I don't know why they don't release it. In my honest opinion, this would be the time to release it. So you could say this is an update with 2 weapons. Here you go, guys. Right? And I don't think you are ethically allowed to release the siege crossbow without another weapon. I don't think it should be. I don't think it should be allowed.
It's not ethical for Soter.
Yeah, it's unethical to release a siege crossbow with no other weapon after 6 months. So if they make us wait another 6 months for the next update, and then they're like, new weapon, guys, siege crossbow. Right. Oh my god!
I really, no, they can't release that by itself.
And they have Volley 64 man with the siege crossbow. Let's do it, boys.
I can't.
Oh my god!
Featured event.
That sounds so bad. I just, the only weapon that they've released post like the actual game's release that I've liked is the rapier. I find the rapier to be hella fun.
That's the best one.
My favorite weapon.
That's definitely the best one. It's also the most normal.
I think that, and I think they should go back to that. I think we talked a little bit about. I'm sold by the idea. Like, everyone's been talking about adding a long sword to the Vanguard class. Why not do the Viking sword? Make it a little bit better slashing than the actual long sword. A little bit less stab, and add it to the Vanguard. There's stuff you could do there. You can release some sick skins for it too. Like, there's so much like Norse like mythology and stuff you could add to it. Like, why not add stuff like that? That sounds, to me, that's way more exciting than the freaking guitars.
Yeah, so the rapier is like somehow the most normal, but it still feels niche. It feels unique, right? You don't feel like you're using any other weapon. And that's why it was the best addition. When you use like the Highland sword, you're like, this thing is just this is dumb. This is dumb.
I don't find it fun.
Yeah, I don't find it fun either. It's dumb. It just feels like a variant of the great sword, but like it's more mentally handicapped cousin. It's not good. It's not fun.
It's not fun, no.
And the guitar are like too niche to the point where no one uses them. And I think they're going to get buffed this update, so maybe that'll make it a little bit more usage, but they can never be buffed to be good at all. And the quarterstaff is just broken. The special is broken. The
animations are funky.
The animations are funky. I don't know. It's less niche than the guitar.
Fun also, I hate using the quarterstaff.
It's because it's on night. It's because it's on night.
That also is on my banned weapon request list.
Put it on Men at Arms today, and then everyone will have fun with it. I promise.
No, I agree. Right now, it's just you just have to face hug because you can't play that game of using the long overheads because you can't close the distance after.
Mm-hmm.
So, but yeah, I love some normal weapons. The rapier is so fun too because there's so much outplay potential with it that you can really feel when
I think it has the most
plays.
fun cue in the game just because like I kind of do that action a lot with the longsword. I kind of drop back, but with the rapier it's to the next level, right? And
yeah, it's like
I love it.
is calculated, and you directly see when you did it right and it works, and it's an outplay because someone lunged forward, missed, and then you pop them in the brain. And even like with the stabs are so fast, if you use your footwork, you can just kind of like skirt like to the side of people's guards, and they usually would be able to turn a little bit and block it. But it's so fast, you can make those stabs in. And it just got so much, even with like the slash excels. It's like a power jab to take people's initiative. You know, it's just fun.
I'm just hoping that we get an equally good special with the heavy cavalry sword. I would like a special attack with a one-handed weapon to be a shield bash, but like not like the jab shield bash, like an actual like punching someone in the face with your shield as hard as you can. That was really cool. I know you didn't play Chivalry 1, Stridah, but the flail, it didn't have a stab. The stab.
Making me jealous that I never played the flail. Right
I know.
Now. Oh.
The stab was you with your shield in your left hand, literally punching someone in the face, and like that was awesome.
Awesome, yeah.
Because obviously flails can't stab, and I think that if you made a special attack something like that, that'd be dope.
I agree, and it's just something completely different. So, I think anything when you add something that kind of can change the game a little bit. That's something cool. That's something that keeps the game fresh after it's been out for a while.
Yeah, especially since all the weapons.
For a one-handed messer.
Yeah, all the weapons kind of are starting to feel similar a bit. Once you are a little bit higher up too, everyone's good at countering, and like just having another sword that doesn't change the battlefield a lot was kind of a bummer. But you know, I don't know. Maybe it'll be fun. Maybe it'll change things, but we'll see.
As we said earlier, that could be game-changing, putting a shield with people with a messer-ish type one-handed weapon. Obviously not as strong, but that could definitely add a different element to the gameplay. And you could see some meta changes, which that's what we need. But, so, when do you guys think the update's actually going to come soon? Since it's, my definition of coming soon is different.
I think some people were saying that it's next week, but yeah.
I think that end of the month or early next month.
And do you think that's going to be the PTR announcement, or is it going to be? Are they not doing a PTR, or what's the deal with this?
I don't see the purpose of doing a PTR but I think they will do it because last time they did one, they did not take any of the. It feels like I'm bashing them, but legitimately, it's just kind of stupid to have a PTR with like less than a week of time before the update. No. Take none of the feedback, fix none of the bugs from that PTR. It's just a waste of time, honestly, for the resources that they have to use to get that to happen. So I don't even think they want to do it anymore. If they do, cool. I won't be surprised, but. Yeah, after the PTR, the update will come very soon, obviously.
I've been saying that we're at least 2 weeks out because I think they're very consistent with how they do things. So I think a PTR will come. And as you said, we'll give feedback.
I think I would be hard-pressed to not have a PTR. Like, even just to test it, like, that's kind of unheard of for me.
It's a play test. It's a play test. It's not like a beta. It's just a play test.
It's definitely not a beta.
It's just for fun.
They already know all the bugs that are going to be in the next update because they post them. Most of them. But
not only that, I like, for example, when they did the Thake test, this was a long time ago, right? And they put a fix. They were like, we removed the damage that happens when you hit someone's block with Qatar, right? As like a nerf. And I was like, hey, I'm playing with the guitar right now in the test. That didn't happen. And I was talking to a developer in a game, literally talking to them. And they're like, thanks for letting us know. Never got changed. So
never got changed.
They
thank you for it, though.
Exactly. That along with the desync of the quarters, there's so many things that just stayed. So I don't see the purpose.
I think the purpose is, I mean, it would be ballsy just to YOLO it to release, because I think the purpose is to like throw everyone on the map and like everyone's PC just blow up or like people fall into the map.
That's the biggest thing.
If that doesn't happen, and they're releasing it no matter what.
So there's a threshold.
They're not going to do it with cross parties. They're not going to at least test that or like just like see how it works with the general population.
They said it's a beta to cover their butts.
They said it was a beta and to expect for things not to work correctly because
I know that, but even just to test it before, I don't know, just maybe have it working on the PTR and let everybody play. I don't know.
I have a theory that the update's finished and it's taking so long because something is wrong with the crossplay and they can't figure it out. So that's why we're getting Lion Spire Horse announcements, and we're gonna get the weapon nerf and buff announcement next week. And after that, I don't know, new hat coming to Chivalry 2. But I have a feeling. I have a feeling
a new skin
that something
that's broken.
is taking longer than they expect it to, and they're just stalling.
Oh, yeah, that's what it feels like for sure.
Yeah.
But, hopefully it comes out, and hopefully it comes out beginning of next month, because I'm away. I would be ashamed if they dropped it next week. If you're listening,
no.
TB, delay it by a week, please.
Skaddi's been waiting for 6 months, and he misses the update.
Yeah, dude, that would suck ass.
You know, I'm just hoping that it comes with something a little bit more interesting than pure content. You know, we've talked about this so many times. Every update is the same. It is map, weapon, art, like 2 or 3 armor sets, and now the new standard is an extra DLC to buy with an armor set in it. Now this one's also going to come with a battle pass. So basically, they're asking me, chuck $15 at the game. Here's your map. Here's your weapon. Heavy cavalry sword. Right? Thumbs up for that. And like, if there's nothing else, why? You know, we ask for the same thing every time. We have been constantly regurgitating the same message every single time, every update. We ask for the same things. It's getting a little old to get the same things that we didn't ask for every single update for 2 years.
Well, we did get something new in the last week or two, and it's limited time events. We're keeping them going, and we're running it back with Volley.
We got one limited time event, one volley, the archer only mode. Ziggy brought up an amazing point. Imagine they put out no archer mode as a limited time event. Oh my god!
They've said that in my Discord also, and
people
it's
would
such
never
an easy fix.
They would never shut up asking for it back.
Dude, I hope they do something about projectiles in the next update, man, or at least something, because, you know, I played some Mordhau over the weekend, and it was so nice to not be destroyed by bows every 2 seconds or having to duck and fear of being sniped.
Do you play 64 player?
Yeah, I played.
There's
64.
your problem.
Well, yeah, but even in 64-player Mordhau, it was not nearly the level of projectiles hitting you in Civ 2.
I mean, like in 64 player, the archer limit is like 6. So you just get like literally volleyed when in 40 player, normally you see like 2 archers.
Well, at least
3.
if a team runs 6 archers, they're probably going to lose. So.
Yeah, they're probably going to lose, but you're not having fun.
But they're archer mains. They don't care anyway.
Exactly.
Yeah, I'm also not just talking projectiles. I'm talking just like throwing knives. Ambushers have like everything, you know. It's not even the archers that are the main problem for me. It's just every 2 seconds there's a projectile, a weapon, an arrow, a ballista, a catapult, something striking you, you know.
No, in my opinion, the game just plays better without ranged weapons. It's just more fun. But I know there is a demographic of people who would not agree with that and say, well, they didn't design this for people like you, Dave, and Skadii. Like it's
I think
a different
it's because
clientele.
All of these games are based on a medieval aesthetic, and there are certain expectations when you make a medieval game. People want archery and siege weaponry, and they expect it. And so it always makes its way in somehow, weak or strong. So I don't think you're going to ever see like a medieval slasher without it completely, besides that one game, Mobius, that's coming out. But, you know, only time will tell.
Yeah, coming out also soon.
Exactly.
I know. Dave sent me a list of games that are in development, and it was so hard to find any info on any of them. So I think they're all
that and Ad
a long
Mortem,
way out.
the game Giro's working on.
The people, if you ask the community managers to talk to them, they will talk to you. They are very nice. It's just they don't want to give too much info for no reason in particular.
Yeah. Well, that usually means there's no info to give yet at this point. So
probably
we'll keep our eyes on them. But with the volley thing, I was joking with Moon. I'm like, did you march into the Monday morning meeting and you're like, all right, this is how we're gonna piss Stridah off the most? Like, let's run volley back. Like, let's go.
Yeah, I don't know. They said expect more limited time events. We've gotten one. All
right. So here is the thing with the limited time events. It seems to go in this order: LTS, free for all, volley, brawl. And I think we're on our second rotation.
Oh yeah,
of
yeah.
that.
It's not a feature. This is a thing that they're doing just to update the main screen to
Yeah, I
make it
just
seem like new content's rolling in.
Am I insane? I assumed that meant that we were going to get like actual unique events.
Yeah,
not
yeah.
The same,
Yeah.
Not just the same things that we've been playing.
I think the unique events might have, after they announced it, like, oh, it's actually probably a lot of, I don't know anything about coding, but it's probably a lot of work to do. So
Of course.
maybe they're working on the next one, but until
Yeah.
then, we're getting LTS free for all.
I don't even mind. I don't even mind. I was just confused. Like I don't mind LTS free for all.
I feel like I love when free for all is on the main page, so I always have a good time with that. But I feel like there are some simple modes, like as you said, first person mode would be something pretty cool. I feel like even no archer mode, like there's stuff they could add that shouldn't be too hard. Just like hit a toggle, turn this off, and like let's do it. Like just something different.
Exactly. The first Chivalry had first person only servers. It had no archer servers. I can understand not wanting those permanently because every single time you toggle that setting, you split it by 50. And every single time you do it, split by 50, split by 50. And we're already too small, respectfully.
Yeah.
So I can understand not wanting those forever. But like you said, a limited time of any of those is really cool. And it should be done.
With any of those things, it's a novelty, and it wears off for most people after a short amount of time, which is fine. But it's definitely just add a little variety. People would go crazy for the no archer mode. I can guarantee that.
Oh, yeah.
Even if it didn't last more than 2 weeks, they would go.
They
nuts
cannot
for it.
add that because if they take it away, they're probably going to get someone at their door. Let's be honest.
Oh man. Yeah. No. I mean, I probably know the people that would be at their door with the anti-archery stuff. Whenever I see a post on Reddit of like someone doing something horrible to an archer, I always tag a few of the guys in my Discord. I'm like, all right, which one of you guys was this? Like, I know it was one of you. It had to be. But, oh man. So, speaking of I know Skadii mentioned he played a little Mordhau. Did you enjoy?
Yeah, man, I really like Mordhau, man. They're very they're a little bit different, and as you know, the combat system and everything. But I was raised on Mordhau, and that's how I got interested in the genre. So yeah, man, I enjoyed it. There's quite a few changes. I mean, all the I was actually like surprised at all the things I've missed in the past couple of years that I haven't been playing it. And and I see a bunch of great features that Shiv really needs, that Shiv 1 obviously had, but Mordhau has some really great systems that Shiv 2 could really benefit from, pop off,
Yeah, so anyone, everyone who's listening, if you didn't keep up with your medieval news, Mordhau went free on Epic Games for a week, I believe, or around there.
Yeah, it was like 4 days or something. It was like a
days,
Friday through a Tuesday or something like that.
So if you had an Epic account, you could just claim Mordhau, get the game for free, and the player base is absolutely popping off right now because of that. So if anyone's interested in jumping in, it's probably a good time if you have it to hop back in and get a few lobbies where everyone's not been playing for the last 4 years for 10 hours a week. But I think it's cool to see for me because any attention we get on the medieval slasher genre is always so huge. You just bring more people into it, and they might migrate over to Shiv or whatever in a few weeks. But I played a little bit deliriously tired last night, and I will say the graphics and stuff, it definitely held up over the test of time because I don't think I've played since probably 2019, maybe early 2020. But jumping in, it felt like a modern game, and there's definitely, you can see right away with the customization and stuff, some of the stuff that Shiv lacks. It just does so well in there.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we talked about it before, how every way that either title excels, they excel in the direction that the other title does not.
100%.
Everything Mordhau does right, Chivalry does terrible, and everything Chivalry does right, Mordhau doesn't do terrible, but does not do nearly as good.
No, yeah, and I know Skadii talked about like the fun factor in Mordhau with some of the craziness.
Oh, dude, I was laughing my eye. I made a dwarf, and
I was gonna say about a dwarf. I had a dwarf come after me. I said, "I'm like, what in the fuck is this?"
I don't know, man. It's got some great RP value, and like I just can't stop laughing sometimes when I'm playing it, just because it's so goofy. And but also the people in the game are goofy as well, like the RPers and just how people play. You know, but ultimately, you know, when I get back on Shiv, I'm like, oh, this just feels smoother to me. But I mean, like the way they handle projectiles in Mordhau, the maps are super cool. There's not a lot of desertion zones. Like, you are leaving the field of battle. Please leave or you will die. Horses, like while you're using them, they feel smoother to me in Shiv. I think like the Shiv ones have a lot of depth, but they just need to work on like the movement of the horse a little bit. It's a little bit jank. But in Mordhau, it's a little smoother.
I noticed that right away. Like I was like, graphically, it held up, but and of course the customization, I noticed right away, the bard players, the dwarfs, the fun factor. What I noticed where it was hard going from Shiv to it is it felt clunky to me going back. Like the Chivalry combat feels so smooth to me. Feels like you're always in control. It felt a little clunky. The animations looked a little bit off, and playing their team objective mode, to me, it lacked all the things that make Chivalry exciting.
Yeah. So, like, the reason it feels clunky is because it's clunky on purpose. Everything in Chivalry is very free. Like you said, if you attack someone and they block, your weapon brushes off and hits the next person. In Mordhau, if you hit someone and they block, that's it. Doesn't go through. So that objectively makes it clunkier because, you know, you feel like, oh man, where'd my attack go? But it's all for the design of that game specifically. Same thing with the movement too, right? Like the double sprint in Chivalry is just like Mach 8, while in Mordhau, you know, it's like a little sprint.
I found it annoying having to hit sprint all the time in Mordhau. It's like, this is too much work.
Yeah, auto sprint is epic. I love it.
Yeah. And I was thinking, so it's got a lot of players right now. I think it's probably, at least for this week, has more players on it than Chivalry. I think that's fair to say, right? Do you guys think this is gonna last for it, or what do you guys see happening now? They had their big.
No, I don't think it's going to last, as it never does with these games. It's a little bit morbid to say, Debbie Downer, but we kind of talked about what you need to keep people, and I think that Mordhau is inherently inaccessible to new players. At the moment, there's like enough shitters to where like they all kind of balance each other out skill wise, but they're eventually going to meet the people who have been playing for years. They're going to meet them and they're going to feel like that's bullshit. And in Chivalry 2, that's just not nearly as much of a problem because you can just hold block and sit next to your teammates. So I think that'll eventually hit them pretty hard.
Yeah, no, I think the boost in players for the genre is huge, but I think the game of Mordhau hasn't changed since it released and since it's had other free weekends. So the problems that are still inherent in the game haven't been solved. So I feel like it's going to have maybe a month of longevity here, and momentum will slowly die down until you're down to the same 1,000, 1,500 concurrent players, where the people who did just pick up the game are now like, what the fuck? Like, you know, there's just no catching up.
I think that it will actually live a surprisingly long amount of time, but I said, the number will go down consistently.
It'll steadily leak, yeah.
Yeah, because they now have so much to play with. Mordhau has amazing mods, Star Wars mod, survival RPG mod. You know, Renown, the open world game with base building? Mordhau has its own mod where you can base build and survive with your friends and fight. They have horde mode, they have ranked play. There's so much to do, and the cosmetics, there's so much to unlock. You are going to be busy if you're a new Mordhau player. You got tons to do. You're not going to get bored for a while. The only thing that might turn you off is the combat system itself, which reasonably so, it will turn people off when they get to the higher skill ceiling of it. They're going to probably be annoyed, but like I said, there's a lot to play with, and Chivalry 2 in comparison looks very shallow at the moment.
Yeah, I mean, I'm hoping that the Chivalry devs see the success that they had by this free 4 days or whatever. Could I just call it a week? I hope they see that and consider doing something similar when our update comes, because we've had a few boosts like that with Steam release, with Game Pass. Like, I really hope they do. I mean, my biggest desire is they just go free to play, period.
You remember what I said? Don't go free to play till your game's good.
Yeah, I do remember that.
When you press that button, it's done. You lose that. They've expended these options, which are like big clumps of players. And if you take those clumps of players in when your game is better, you'll make more money in the long run. And they don't have a shortage of money at the moment. They just hired like 60 employees. They got tons of money. So that's not really the issue right now. They released it on Steam at the wrong time. People left. They released it on They had free weekends. People left. If you release it free to play now, people will come in and then they'll leave right out the door just as fast. It's not worth it. Wait until you give the private servers. Wait until the crossplay parties work. Wait until you have ranked mode, please and thank you. And then only then make it free to play.
Yeah, and that's, you make a good point there, because going free to play is like the last injection of players you can give to a game.
Exactly.
Like after that, there's no options.
There's no coming back.
Yeah, there's no more free play weekends on Steam because it's already free.
Yeah, exactly.
So that's
Perfect.
You can't go, hey guys, we're gonna charge you money now.
Exactly.
Yeah, you can't go back.
$40.
You can't
Think
go
about
back.
it. You're gonna have all these free players come, and they're gonna probably want to set up an event or something, and they're gonna be like, no, sorry, our game has too many hackers. Are you gonna continue playing? Heck no. It's like we're not ready. Not ready.
Yeah, well, I mean, I don't know if it ever will be, but I'm really hoping. I know me and Dave talked privately that private servers might be coming at some point. Hopefully, it comes soon. But I mean, with all the stuff that happened with the events, I think that's just the biggest argument for it that you could possibly make. And I hope that the devs see with the private servers, like just get it out of your hands and give it to us. Let us manage our own stuff. It'll just, it's just always more efficient like that. Like we don't
I
need
highly
mods
doubt they'll
then.
do that.
Let me put a password on my server and let me do my thing.
I wish that's what they did back in the day, but now it's more likely they'll work through a third-party company rather than just providing the tools to people to run their own servers at their home.
I have no idea how third-party companies with like private servers work anymore, since so few games actually let you do that. So what do you rent the server and get to title it and run it?
Basically, right, when you run a server on your computer, just go back to your head to Minecraft, right? Minecraft doesn't have official servers. They just have server running tools, and then they let you run your own servers. Now, obviously, there's security risks with running your own server because the server is running on your internet connection, meaning that when players join your server, they can pretty easily get your information and target your location. So most people run a server through a third-party hosting company, which runs the server on their hardware at a separate location from your home, and you pay them monthly to basically host the server for you. They may even have better hardware, which makes the server perform better. And there's a lot of other reasons why, security, DDoS protection, blah, blah, blah. You can go on forever. And so most people would do that. Now, Chivalry 1 released tools to where you could host a server on your computer, and obviously then third-party companies can use that tools to provide you with that service. What Chivalry 2 might do is just work through a third-party hosting company directly, which makes it to where you can't host a server on your computer if you wanted to, and you would have to go to that third-party company to purchase a server. I would rather them not do that, but they might do that anyway. So it doesn't mean you won't be able to host your own server. You still will. It's going to make it to where you have to purchase it instead of running it at your house.
I mean, to me, that's I wouldn't want to run one myself. I want to hear,
Yeah,
it's your problem. Just let me type in my password and I'm good to go.
Most people wouldn't, but I know there's some nerds in the community that are like, I have this awesome machine. I could run like 10 servers at my home.
When you said that, all I could think of is Sunder having like 10 PCs set up in his basement right now.
Exactly. Yeah. And some people genuinely do have like, let's say you wanted a very high performance server for competitive events. I'm sure you know tick rate and servers and how that affects performance. Mordhau has 120 tick rate dual servers. Chivalry 2 servers are 30 tick rate. That's why they're so dog water. And so, but the thing is, that's expensive, right? You can't expect the devs to be making every server 120 tick rate. And so for
It
you
would
to
be
pay,
glorious, though.
it would be, right? But they don't view it as a competitive game, blah, blah, blah. So for you to purchase something like that and run a high quality server and high performance server, it could be pretty expensive. That may be why you might want to run one with your friends, especially if it's just with your friends. Then you might have a reason to run it in your home.
I have literally no idea how much a server costs to run a month. So, Dave, what if you like rent a server from a third party? What are you looking at?
Well, it depends on what's running on it, right? And
Yeah, so Chivalry could be a well-optimized game, could not be. Usually it depends. So, unoptimized games run more expensive. The more RAM the server has, it can increase the price. The better the processor, the faster the storage. It quite literally is just based on the specs of the computer that you're purchasing, or renting, right? So minimum, I would say, like $10 a month, which is dirt cheap for most people. But if you want it to be good, you can look at like 40 to 50 a month, and it can add up, especially if you want more than one server for different game modes and stuff. Yeah. But overall, I think people will be happy.
Like to me, for a high tick server for Chivalry, I would have no problem spending $40 a month, and I would make it back through YouTube videos, events hosted on it, donations and subs while I run stuff on that. And
it could even be cheaper.
That would be great. Yeah, I might even make profit on it. Yeah.
Yeah.
So like to me that sounds like would be such a big win. And then I remember back in the days, like if you ran a server, a good server, good moderators, good map rotation, you'd build a following who would just always congregate in your server, which that would be sick.
Oh yeah, they're if you go back to Chivalry 1, their server browser looks a lot more like an actual indie game server browser. You can have the favorites tab, the friends tab, shows you where your friends are in, shows you your favorite servers, shows you all these different things. The server browser might see an overhaul. In that case, might not though.
So I can server browse to volley only servers.
You got your own. I'm sure you got your own server. You could do volley with crossbows if you want.
Yeah, sweet.
Go crazy
just
with
what
it.
I want.
I know that's Skadii's favorite.
Double
mode.
projectile damage servers, please.
There are negatives to servers, though, which I've seen people argue against, but that doesn't mean that they're not going to add them. They most definitely will.
I just, having played in the server browser days of games and now in the quick play games, I would take server browser any day over
It is kind of nice.
Call of Duty used to have that, and you can't do it anymore. It's ridiculous.
There's something nice about just being able to hit the play button though, and just automatically get it, and not always have to sift through servers. But having both would just be.
I don't know why they're not. I don't know why they're not merged. Why are they not merged?
Yeah, I don't know either.
Yeah, that doesn't make sense to me. That would be the best for, I feel like, every game, having the quick play button that'll throw you in a lobby, but also being to browse all the servers. Now, I understand
that's what some AAA games do, and it works fine.
Yeah, and that's what they always did, and it was great. I understand like a game like Call of Duty has so many players on that you can't have every server show up in a browser. Probably there would probably literally be a list of thousands, but like for us, why not?
Battlefield did it.
Yeah, Battlefield did it for a very long time, and they stopped doing it now. When 2042 came, it was such a horrible decision. It would put you in quick play where you don't get a map rotation, just throws you in whatever map it throws you in, so you could wind up playing the same map 7-8 times in a row. It's just horrible. I will say, I don't know if you guys, I see a lot of our Shiv guys playing Battlefield 2042 right now. I'm assuming it's improved some, but when that game released, I say it was the worst AAA FPS I have ever played. It was just such trash, like top to bottom.
I think even in its current state, it's not nearly as good as Battlefield 1. So why would I play it?
I mean, I love Battlefield games. So Battlefield 4 and Battlefield Bad Company 2, two of my favorite games of all time. So I was so excited for that game. It was a big L to take when I installed it. I'm like, this is freaking dog shit.
I think they spent too much time trying to work on 128 player. I think it was a waste of resources.
Yeah, I think I hated the 128 too. I think it's just too much chaos. Sometimes more players does not make for a better game. And I think that's
glad you came to my side of the water.
Yeah, it's just a clusterfuck. well, I'm not fully there because Battlefield 64 players is the perfect amount, and that's what we got in Shiv. But I used to play a lot of 40 player in Shiv. It's just once I got the taste of 64, I just can't.
Yeah,
go
I don't.
back
I
to
don't
less
think I ever
action.
spent time in 40 man really. Besides just trying the horses out.
When the game released on Epic and it was on the main page, there was like a core group of us who would play 40 player, and there were a lot of really good players, so you could get like good matches. Like I remember me and I'm sure Dave probably knows them. Me and Leiden used to always run up against each other in pubs, and it was cool because you'd have kind of like the friendly rivalry. And you hit tab, he sees me, I see him, and you're gonna have a game. So
Yeah,
I genuinely believe it's more balanced. I think it's more fun. I think in 64 players, some maps devolve into literally clump next to clump, and I think beyond the Le Chaos, I don't think it's that cool. I don't value the Le Chaos
in
that
40
much.
man, I'm like, where are all the people to slay? That's what I'm
No,
thinking.
that's not true.
No,
no,
but
I agree
like,
with you, Skadii. I
like
agree.
those large clusters and stuff. That's what I live for, man. I love the chaos, the amount of
That's because 40
1vx's that you
players
get.
dead. 40 players dead, so you don't see them. But you
Well,
have
no,
40
well,
people.
when I played the
you know.
last time I played, there was, I would play full matches. I'm not that crude with that opinion, okay? But I don't know, man. 64 players on 64 man line spire, everyone on the bridge pushing, is sick.
hell.
It's sick, man.
Dude, I'm with Skadii. Unless you get the taste of the 64, it's hard to go back. And what did me in with the 40s is, I don't know, something changed at some point with like their matchmaking. But every time I would play, I'd finish a map, and then it would die down to 10 on 10, and the map would be halfway done before it finally lowers to 16 on 16, maybe 20 on 20 if you're lucky. But I'm wasting half a map of play
Yes,
session.
I agree with you there. So I don't play period in casual anymore because I literally can't get a match in 40 player, right? That's how dead it is. So I agree with you. It's unplayable. But let's just assume that it was playable, right? Especially in our competitive events where we can get any number. Rather have 40.
Yeah. No, I did notice in the event I played last week with your boys, you get a little bit more intimate fights, and the action is so pushed together because everyone's playing the objectives that you still get a little bit of that chaos. But that's also a way different experience from people being on every corner of the map in pubs. So, all right, boys, I think it's going to be time for us to start. We can answer a few questions quick. I don't know if you guys' chats have been hitting
Dude,
you
for
up
some
with
reason
stuff.
my Twitch stream is like delisted or something. I don't know why, but it's still going. People are watching it, but which is strange. I don't know what happened. I'm sorry, guys. I saw your messages during the podcast, but
Yeah, well, all right, I got a few here before we wrap up the thing. So Spartan Gaming, I don't know if you guys have watched him. He runs a nice stream, but he said the Oceanic servers are 12 tick. Dave, that true?
Oh my God.
That sounds
that's awful, dude.
I think that's a joke, but
But
I don't.
is
I
he
don't think
joking or
that's-
serious,
no,
Dave? You're the master on this stuff.
No, I think he's joking.
It's a joke.
that's unplayable,
yeah.
dude.
Yeah,
That's-
that
Might as
that
well
would-
give him single digits at that point. Like,
yeah.
I think that would be completely unplayable. But yeah, are the Oceanic servers terrible? Probably.
probably.
Probably. Like, let's just be honest. I know that the South American players contact me all the time telling me how terrible the servers are.
Damn. Yo, that seems like targeted. Given some regions worse servers than others, it's kind of fucked.
It's not really that. It's that they basically it's like resource allocation. You know, most of your players are in one place, and so you kind of just pay less attention to a region where you have a concurrent 200 people playing. You don't really,
Yeah,
you're not
yeah.
really thinking about them hard. Their complaints
no.
are like a drop in the bucket.
Very, very true. Very true. I guess when they go by the numbers, and they're pretty corporate over at Torn Banner now.
Oh,
so I'm
yeah.
sure I'm sure they have an analytics department who is crunching everything.
Mm-hmm.
I hate freaking analytics. It's gone too far, man. It's gone too far. But
The analytics tell us that we should nerf them all.
yeah, don't get me started on that bullshit. Because I'm in a field where analytics get pushed. But the thing with analytics is you can like manipulate them to get any number you want. So like I teach, but if you're supposed to have a certain pass rate, or if you want to show improvement of your students, it's very simple. The classic is you give them a fucking test or something that they didn't learn anything about in the beginning of the year, okay? And then at the end of the year, after you prepped them for it, already gave them the test, you give them the same test, and you've just proven with numbers how great you are as a team. Like, it's just stupid. It's just overblown with analytics. So I'm sure they're going fucking crazy over there.
Don't let your work see this video.
Whatever. I don't care. I don't care. Everyone's doing it. All right, here's a good one I got from Rampaging Hedgehog. He said, "Sorry, I came late halfway through the podcast. Let's shame him for that, boys.
Shame.
But how positive do you feel about Torn Banner's future with this game?"
I've always said that I think it's in low-key maintenance mode. I mean, they're going to probably push out a release every 4 to 6 months from here on out. Maybe new weapon, new map. But I think we're going to see the same sorts of updates, maybe new battle pass, new skins. I don't think they're going to do anything too drastic to the game. And yeah, that's my opinion. But I still see it like thriving for a while. People are still playing it, enjoying it. So I think there's going to be that core community still for a while.
What's interesting is Torn Banner has quadrupled the size of their studio. Not hyperbole, right? Mm-hmm. And they're still hiring over a dozen positions. Over like 15, I think. So what do I think of Torn Banner like for the future of them? Great. They're doing quite literally as good as they possibly could be doing, right? Reinvesting into the company. Just getting an actual like team that's basically near 100 people at this point.
Yeah, they're a big studio. A very big studio now.
Do I think they're going in the right direction with Chivalry 2? Hell no. I don't think they have a single idea on what we want as their community, but I believe that they're big enough and talented enough to where they could put out something extremely profitable and successful regardless of how poor their direction is. So
yeah, I think they have some secret projects, man. They have
exactly
to be.
Yeah. For Chivalry 2, no, I don't think they're going in the right direction at all.
Yeah.
But 100 employees and the content we're getting.
Yeah. I mean, that's why it's in low maintenance mode, and they're totally working on a Lord of the Rings style game.
Let's assume that you're
I hope so. I'll forgive them for most anything if the freaking we're riding around Rohan with swords.
Dude. Let's assume what you guys are saying is true, that they're working on another game. Do I have hope for Chivalry 2? No, obviously, right? Because they're all working on another game. But again, that's unethical, right? To just drop a game after barely fulfilling their promises.
Yeah. Well, that's why I think they have to get these things in and working, just because it's the legitimacy of, you promised us this in this game, why would I buy your next game? So I think there is a case of that, but it's also not abnormal for big companies to work on multiple games. You know, the team that Respawn, they made Apex Legend, working on Jedi Fallen Orders. So that's not unheard of.
Respawn's producer is EA.
Yes.
And so that's a little bit different from Tripwire, who also now owns Torn Banner. They don't just produce for them anymore, they own them. So Torn Banner is more corporate than ever. Sure, they're an indie studio, but they answer to quite literally like the top dog when it comes to who they're answering to. They are so corporate, so detached from what we want, most likely because every single update has to be based on performance metrics rather than a passionate game development experience.
Too much on numbers. And everyone in their job is trying to make the numbers look the best for what they do.
Exactly. Oh, yeah.
You don't get accurate numbers.
I am 99% sure that a third of every Torn Banner's employees' time is spent on meetings. I'm almost certain of it. And so, because that's the case, you're not really going to get updates based on, like passion. You're going to get things based on performance and how much bread you can bring in. So that's probably why we haven't seen stuff like ranked, because there's no real easy way to explain how ranked will increase profit.
Yep, you come into the meeting and we want to propose a ranked mode. What will ranked make me? Nothing.
Exactly.
Okay, goodbye.
Yeah, a battle pass though, that is literally, here's how much sales we could expect. Here's this, boom, there you go. An armor set, how much is that going to cost? $1,500 for the artist to make. How much are we expected to make? $3,000 from sales from 200 individuals. Put it out. Done.
100%. Yeah.
So
Same skin for male on female. Put it out. Who cares? Ship it.
Yeah.
Maul doesn't work when it hits the ground.
I mean, it's kind of
Ship
funny.
it.
It's
Free
kind
the
of
nipple.
funny sometimes seeing the wrong bodies.
Yeah, no, it's hilarious, man. It's hilarious.
It's terrible.
Man.
And they're like cutting corners in the weird spots too now. So offline mode, you can't even play in offline mode on Aberfell or any map past Aberfell. I mean, so all the Tenosian maps take Stronghold, not on offline mode. You can't play offline mode without bots. There's so many things are getting cut corners. So should we expect a bright future for Chivalry 2? It really depends on if they're working on a second game. If they are, no. If they aren't, yes.
Yeah, I think also with Chivalry's future, it kind of depends what the second game is. If it's a direct competitor to Chivalry or something completely different. Because right now, I mean, Chivalry and Mordhau they're the only people who came to the dance, so they will always have players because there's no other options.
Yeah, we need more. We need
other
more
option
game
coming
studios.
It's hard to say if it's so. I don't think it'll be different because last time they tried to make a different game, it failed miserably.
Yeah.
And so if they make the same game like they just did with Chivalry 2, they are expected to get booming success. And I know you said like studios work on multiple games. They probably don't want to do that. They probably want to be the type of studio to where they just replace their old game with the new one and then move over all the players.
I mean, I'm not opposed to Civ 3. It feels a little soon, but
Hey, if the new trend is to release a sequel that's barely better than the first one,
go with the EA like FIFA model. You release a new game every year.
You could do that. I was thinking more like Overwatch 2.
Chivalry 2, 2024.
Don't even start me Overwatch 2. Overwatch, it's literally the same fucking game, and they removed content. And like people
I'm just saying, if that happens,
that's
right?
sad for the gaming community.
If they release Chivalry 3 and it basically deletes Chivalry 2 from your library and makes it free to play and has some new content, would you be that disappointed?
Well, I mean, selfishly, free to play means a lot of views, so on YouTube. So I might be able to be convinced of that.
Yeah,
but,
I wouldn't be that mad. If
that's extreme bias happening there.
Yeah. So that's a complex question. That's a really good question.
But Bulbasaur has a good question for us. He said, "Do you think Torn Banner will ever make hot fixes or security patches?" I'm just gonna say no, and I'll let you guys answer.
Wait,
Private servers.
For security, even just a security patch?
I think what he means is like, say there's this bug in the game, we're releasing a hot fix to fix it.
Yeah, I mean, they haven't really been doing that for any... I mean, they don't even do it for their purchasable skins, so
every
totally
update
not.
you make to the game increases the bulk of the code and they have to build off of those foundations. So it's like the taller you make your house of cards, the more fragile it is, the higher chance of it breaking. So that's why they wait until these major updates to drop changes. You know, that's why we don't get like 20 patches each update. We get 1 or 0.
But even smaller updates, like even just to change like a few things would just be nice, you know? And that wouldn't like totally, be the hardest thing in the world, but
well, for them it is the hardest thing in the world.
Skadii, Jay Moan just came into my chat and he says he thinks he sees some elderly woman's underpants under your bed. So
oh yeah,
I
it's
don't
your
know.
mom's, dude.
Maybe you should grab them.
No, it's just his mom's, dude. She was here last night.
Elderly woman's underpants.
Sorry, that's why I was laughing. I read that.
What we were talking about, the I don't know though, because like, well,
assuming
I know
you have
it's
private servers, it's going to take a lot of the stress off of Torn Banner to improve anti-cheat.
I do web development, and it's like maybe it's just totally different in the gaming industry, but doing smaller, releases that can be QA'd is sometimes a lot better than just a giant thing that could destroy the house of cards, right? So like I don't know, it's kind of crazy to me that they don't even do smaller, like even just patch updates to fix the skins, to fix balance issues here and there, just playing around with a little bit of the numbers to make it more balanced. They just ship a huge dump out there and then they let it go for 4 months, right? So I don't think we're going to get any small updates.
Yeah, I think that's just going to be a firm no. All right, Lich said, are they lazy and careless? Yes. Is there any other game that comes close to Civ 2? No, and I firmly agree with that well, not firmly, but yeah, that's always my feeling. There's no other option, so it is what it is.
When it comes to I've said this a million times before. The people who are responsible for the creative aspect of the game, the gameplay, music, maps, weapons, blah blah blah, sound design, they all are the goats. All they do is produce awesome stuff day in, day out. You know, it's the people who code at the company or lack thereof, and the people who make actual decisions on the creative direction of the game that are the problem.
I think that's the problem. The decision makers, because I'm sure even the people who work there, we've all worked jobs where you have these great ideas, you're super passionate, you go to whoever's in charge and like, yeah, this sucks, we're gonna do this dumbass idea instead, and you're like, I know this is fucked from Jump Street, but okay, boss, that's a great idea. And you know, like, it is what it is. So I know their hair. We got some good people in there, right? Or some really good people. We all love Moon Moon, and you know, I know Connect's also involved.
Exactly. But like Moon Moon and Connect don't have executive power to be like exactly right. Yeah. I mean, I'm sure if Moon Moon was like, oh, the players want ranked play, you know, that's it. Work on it, guys. That's not happening.
Yeah, I don't want to get him in any trouble by us saying anything that he has, like putting words in his mouth, and he goes to work tomorrow morning and is like fucking tarred and feathered here. Like, but you know, we all love Moon. All right, Kenyanki said we need to get Ziggy on the podcast. If we can convince him to turn a webcam on, I think we could probably make that happen.
I'm sure he'd be willing.
It's a possible. Maybe. Yeah, I think he'd probably really enjoy coming on. So we know Ziggy's got a lot to say. So, you know, I think he'd have a real good time coming here and talking to Shiv. Oh, sorry, I'm catching up here. Bulbasaur wants Chivalry 2 in VR. That would probably be sick.
Yeah,
that would make you sick.
Yeah, it'd probably make you sick.
Spartan, you missed us talk about your 12 tick rate servers. Dave said you have to be joking. Is it true or not?
Dude.
Troll. That's a troll.
Yeah, well, now he's talking Chivalry 3 Battle for Middle-earth when, yes, that's what we've all been waiting for.
Battle for Middle-earth. Listen, Clay I've said this before. You guys say if they're working on the Lord of the Rings game, that all is forgiven. If they're working on Mirage 2, all is forgiven.
Dave and 3 other people will play the game, so... Clay said there was 10 years between Shiv 1 and Shiv 2, so I wouldn't expect another game for a while. Yeah, I feel like to me, I'd expect 5 years to be... But I could be wrong.
Yeah, but sequels that add nothing are in now. Remember?
Yeah, we have now a lot of people defending Skadii's room. Good to see.
What are they saying, dude? I don't know why people talk about my room so much, dude.
Your room is nice.
Very, very well kept. Very well kept.
Yeah, it's a nice room.
I gotta give Skadii credit. Like, he makes the bed every morning and stuff. Like, I only make the bed when I have company coming.
I'm also I have another office, but I have to stream out of my bedroom, you know, so it's always clean. But I do usually make my bed though in the mornings or when I get out of it.
Kenyanki says, do you think they'll ever do mod support for the game? No.
They said that they're open to it. And they just straight up said, like, yeah, we would do that. But, you know, it's one of those things where everything else has to be working to justify its inclusion. And also part of the corporate crap hole that they're in, you have to justify how that's going to make you money. Now, with the first game, they had tons of ways that this made them money. They could add maps that the community made into the game as official maps, which saves them work. And I know that sounds lazy, but it was genuinely really effective at making good maps. Same thing with weapon skins and armor sets. You could just use the community as a powerhouse. Unfortunately, the longer you wait to add mod support, the more difficult that is, because all the creatives leave your game once they, you know,
right.
Like, if you make them wait that long for mod support, they're not going to stick around. They're going to go to another game, which allows them to do that, like Mordhau.
Mm-hmm.
Oh man, Skadii, this is probably the most cuck shit I've ever seen put in my chat. But Jamon is saying that you keep their mother's panties under the bed, and it's a disgrace. Well, why is he not at your house throwing fucking hands right now live on the cast?
Dude. Well, chat knows I take good care of their mothers.
You admitting Skadii's got the panties there of your mom? Like, come on.
Oh yeah. I take really good care of my chat's moms. Don't worry.
Oh my god. Skadii, what type of show you running? Like, just like
Are you a gentleman, Skadii?
To get in the clan, you got to send mom over. Like,
yeah, for sure.
You got to pay tribute.
God.
Oh,
Yeah, they give me
God.
donos for healthcare for their mothers after, you know.
Oh my God.
Jesus. Okay. All right. Well, that was interesting. All right, boys. 8:15 over here, and on the panty note, I think it's probably time for us to wrap up.
Yeah. Good time to wrap
That
up.
was one of my favorite comments I've ever seen in here. What the fuck? Oh man. But boys, I think I might hop on a little bit of Mordhau for something different. I haven't played.
Nice, man. Yeah.
Check
Have
out
fun.
Survival RPG.
What the hell is that? Is
It's
that
a mod for.
It's the mod. Yeah,
Mordhau,
just literally look up in the server browser Survival, and then just join any server with that, and you will have a very fun time.
All right. I will take that. Possibly take that advice. I'm trying to figure out what I'm doing first. It's been a while. It's been a few years. My son Crafty in the chat could not make it through the tutorial. It's my favorite Crafty story in Mordhau. He rage quit.
Rage quit the tutorial.
Yeah, he rage quit the tutorial. Never actually played the game. But I'd love to get him to fire it up with me. But all right, boys. Have a good night, everyone. We'll be back in 2 weeks. We'll do some work, possibly. We'll talk to Ziggy if people want to get him on. I think we can probably make that happen. Dave might have to butter him up to get the webcam going, but we'll see.
Hey, don't
Yeah, I'll
pressure
do my
him with
best.
the webcam. It's fine. Why, don't pressure him.
Yeah.
But it is
Pressure
nice.
him,
It is
babe.
nice. But
Look,
you know, what
I'm
do you guys
very,
have against people that don't use webcams, man? All right.
It's for intimacy.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's just I'm very controlling of the brand here.
No,
You got
I'm
three,
joking.
you got Dave's stash, and then you got a white screen next to it. It just doesn't, And Ziggy, I see Ziggy's got the long hair.
No, he doesn't have that anymore.
He shaved the head.
For Turkey Truck, yeah.
Oh no!
Yeah,
you don't have the long hair. Oh man!
He said he would shave it for Turkey Truck, and he did.
Well, we're gonna find out if we get him on here.
He sent me pictures.
Oh boy! All right. Well, we're gonna have short hair Ziggy then. All right. But, all right. We'll reach out to him and see if we can make something happen. All right, boys. Peace
All right,
out.
take it easy.
I'll be back in a little bit playing, boys. All right.
All right, peace. All right. YouTube, I'm going to be streaming on Twitch. Come on over to Twitch tonight and hang out. Peace out. Much love. Hope you enjoyed.